Steve Rubens on reverse grid pole position, as we mentioned, in that 155 car. Nick Alexander will be starting alongside him. He's got that white car on the front row of the grid. Joe Borgeson and Taro Tylus on row 2. Then comes Miguel Morland and Matt Trumpets with Sam Harper and Frick Smith. Then Lucas Raskowitz and David Hatton in the top 10. Tim Ellis and Daniel Cook, followed by Luke Power and Stephen Williams, James Gill and Alex Smith. Then we get to our front runners from the earlier race with Alexander Dubbelsberger, Bradley Philpott, Danny Henney, and Gregoire Gomez inside the top 10. Ivan Anderson just missed out on that top 20 reverse grid there. He starts 21st. Jose Coy, the first race obviously didn't go so well for him, down in 23rd place. Colin Ward in 27th, back in gold after a season in platinum. Shame, Spanish, you're not driving with your old sparring partner there, but we're about to get underway for the second race of the night. Steve Rubens in the blue car on the right hand side will lead them away from pole position as we get underway now. It's the F3 race that gets going. Rubens, very nice start off the line, holds on to the lead, but Nick Alexander's got some good momentum. He will have the inside line for the first corner. Who's going to be bravest on the brakes? It's the number 27, actually, of Taro Tylus, who was bravest, but got squeezed in the middle there just a bit, so hung on to third place. As Steve Rubens is coming under attack now from Nick Alexander around the outside in that white number 29 machine, but he can't make it around the outside of turn 2, and Rubens just hangs on to the place. Taro Tylus goes around the outside into second place. Beautiful move.
Smith is out, has been taken out by Sean Bennett.
Whoa! Big incident in the middle of the pack. Absolute carnage and chaos has reigned on the run up to turn 4. That Miguel Morland, I think that was, who cut across the front of David Hatton and has caused absolute carnage on the run up the field. Now, just checking back, that didn't involve any of our front runners. Henney, Dobbelsberger, Gomez, they're all clear. And crucially, Carl Power's right with them as well. So that's handed him a massive gift. We'll check in with them later because Taro Tylus is right on the back of our reverse grid pole sitter.
Sadly, Miguel Morland is innocent, so I have to make sure that he doesn't get blamed for this. It is unfortunately our pole sitter. I've forgotten the name, sorry. But it was our pole sitter who went that, unfortunately, with just a little bit of a wobble on the straight.
Well, I don't think it was the pole sitter because that was Steve Rubens, and he's just been demoted to second place as Taro Tylus took the lead into the penultimate corner. So Taro Tylus, the gold driver, leads across the line for the first time. Steve Rubens now coming under pressure from Sam Harper, who's had a cracking first lap here, and he's making his way into second place, just about side by side between them. But on the exit of the corner, Sam Harper makes his way through. So we've got two gold drivers up at the front of the field. That's important for their class battle, followed by two silver drivers in the form of Steve Rubens and Miguel Morland, with James Gill heading up the platinum contingent in fifth place overall. And so to catch up on our other the drivers from the first race, Danny Henney up to 9th, followed by Tim Ellis, Dobbelsberger, Gomez, and Kyle Power, all line astern at the moment.
So it's Joe Borgenson was the name I was looking for. Unfortunately, took out Miguel and then David Hatton, and then obviously that pile of cars just came streaming in behind. And it is just one of those things that happens when you have a straight that is also on a bend. People lose sight of where that racing line and where their lane is.
Oh, Danny Henney's got a problem. Sorry, guys. But Danny Henney's lost his front wing. He's tumbling down the order. But while we're watching this replay, that's collected Stephen Williams and Lucas Raskowitz as well. Oh, and Luke Power as well. Pretty much half the field
so it's Danny
wiped
Henney
out
in the
in that
chicane.
one.
Danny Henney in the chicane.
Yeah, he's tumbling down the order now. He's all the way down in 13th place and is about to come into the pits as well. So, well, that's great news for the other drivers who were around him. There he is into the pits.
Super from it's Nick Alexander, who's lost it on the exit of the chicanes and then spun back across the track and taken out Frick and Danny Henney.
Wow, what a shame for them.
Very unlucky, no ill intent there. You just get two wheels on the outside of that chicane and that's you.
This is battle for the lead. Sam Harper's right on the back of Taro Tylus here. This is not just the gold class leads, the overall leads as well, separated by just 0.2 of a second as they come up the hill. Steve Rubin still having to get his elbows out for third place as well. He's got James Gill and Luke Power bearing down on him. So maybe that wasn't Luke Power who was caught up in the melee on that first lap, because he's looking, well, he's certainly looking in good shape as he got right into the back.
He's just touched Gill.
He's almost done what he did in the last race there as well. He'd have been thinking, not again, but managed to survive, got it stopped in time. And they do survive for this middle sector once more. Coming into the third and final sector. And we've had a change for the lead as well. Just while we were looking at that, Sam Harper just went down the inside of that turn number 11 just now. Or turn 12, I should say. There it is. Lovely run from him down the straight. And he's already pulling clear. Look at that. Jink out, 8 outbreak. And into the lead in that black and yellow Fusion car. Number 23 now into the lead of the race. There we see Steve Rubens in the background coming under pressure for third place once again as James Gill makes his way on the inside here. So his first race in Platinum, and he's sitting pretty at the moment in third place and well, 3 seconds off the lead as it stands. But let's say he'll be able to do something about that as Luke Power followed James Gill through there as that was Dobertsberger, who very nearly came unstuck on the inside of Miguel Morland there into turn 2. And Ellis and Gomez and Power are right behind them as well. So these are our top guys from the last race. And I cannot fathom, because didn't Kyle start in like 30th place? So how on earth did he manage in that first lap to make up 17 positions or whatever it was? Suddenly, this is a very familiar sight, isn't it? Dobertsberger, we thought about a move. He tried to bail out of it. He had to go for it in the end. Side by side through the chicane. As Gomez gets a monster run as well and gets around the outside of Tim Ellis. That's a cracking move done there. And see how Ellis is struggling now to get it turned in. I'm sure Power's going to be trying to take an opportunity on that as well. He's not the kind of guy to try and make a bit of a side-by-side move happening in that section of the track. So Gomez, well, he's dispatched of Ellis. He's already thinking about Dobertsberger.
I owe apology to Sean Bennett. Early on in all that chaos, just before you called that midfield shunt, I said that Alex Smith had been taken up by Sean Bennett, and it wasn't. It was actually Dobertsberger and Smith coming together, just converging lines, and that actually cost us Brad Philpott, who ended up going into that. So that's how we lost Brad at turn 2.
Morland's lost 2 places in one corner as Dobertsberger and Gomez managed to find their way through. Morland fancies trying to take one of those spots back, and Powers made his way through on Ellis as well. Bit of a lock up there from Gomez, but he's gone through. He's gone through as well. So that's for 6th position. As Powers trying to get around the outside of Morland now for 8th position. And yeah, he did make that one stick. And Ellis fancied a run there. Lucas Raskovitz now on the tail of this as well, trying to get himself up into the top 10. Oh, everybody's involved in this one. Brilliant.
Well, Raskovitz just made a great move on Jose Koig as well there on the outside. Jose really showing great pace through the practice, and I'm expecting him to be in that top sort of 10 consistently now with the F4 and F3 as we go through the season. But yeah, not quite able to hold Lukash off there. But it's a great drive from Kyle. Really powering through. He was at the back of that train not too long ago.
He certainly was. So he's now got himself up into 8th position and is on the back of Alex Dobertsberger as well. These guys are starting to pull away as Miguel Morland's a bit of a bottleneck here. The silver class driver in the red car. We're on board with Kyle Power through the penultimate corner, trying to line himself up for a move down the straight potentially, trying some different lines there to Dobertsberger in front of him. We've seen some cracking battles between these two in the past. Kyle Power, champion from season before last. Alexander Dobertsberger, multiple race winner across the F3 and Formula Renault seasons.
See, if F1 was to have these reverse grids, it's so hard to know what to watch. We've had Sam Harper taking the lead over Tero Tyler. So you've got Kyle pushing his way up the grid. You've still got the battle for the reverse top 20, and it's just so hard to know what to keep your eye on. But if you're someone who has iRacing, you'd be more than welcome to jump in, and watch and pick your own view. That would be our version of multi-viewer, Chris.
Yeah, it certainly would. As Raskovitz was really trying to make a move on Morland there. for 9th place, and he still hasn't made it work, actually, astonishingly. I thought he had him for sure there. That is a little bit further down in the pack. Colin Ward and Daniel Snorterland going toe-to-toe here.
So Danny's got to hunt down John Cox and Andrew Sexton to finish 20th to try and get a Super Formula pole. And I think that's the only way he's going to save this evening, because Greg's had the rub of the green and been that little bit quicker. But Danny's got quite a way to go. But, we just need 2 cars to drop out in order for Danny to get that reverse grid pole.
Yeah, and we're only just coming up to the half race distance at the moment, aren't we? Oh, well, there's one of them. There he is.
Oh my God!
Oh, look, there's all. There's all of them. And he's picked up about 3 or 4 places there in one fell swoop. So he's up to 18. So he's got a good grid position now. He can check that box off.
Yep, that was Joe Borgenson. That was Tom Jenkinson. So 2 of the new guys. Colton Myers involved in that as well. EJ Anderson. So I think he might be in the top 10 now, given that, and also involved Andrew Sexton and Daniel Cook.
So Dobbsberger and Power still going hammer and tongs for 7th place. They're actually coming onto the back of Steve Rubens now, who's our pole sitter. Gomez has made his way through to 5th place while we were watching all that unfold. And Dobbsberger arriving on the scene straight away. Power's gone very, very deep. Runs onto the runoff area. Just about manages to gather the car up without losing a position. But Dobbsberger's found his way through into 6th place, and Power's just about kept it pointing in the right direction. So now he's found himself on the back of Steve Rubens. Didn't actually lose too much time in all that. A very dramatic moment there. I'm sure caught out somewhat by the late braking. And squeezed onto the grass there. We just saw very, very tight indeed. Now trying to find a way through the chicane. That hasn't proven to be very productive over the course of the night. Look how much time he's losing now, though. He's right back in the pack with Moreland and Braskovitz and Ellis. So lap 7 of 14 we're coming to the end of now, so just over half race distance. Sam Harper still leads the way by 3.2 seconds. James Gill's on the back of Taro Tylers for 2nd place, but we'll keep an eye on this battle as the guys from the front end of the last race fight their way back up through the order. Kyle Power not getting a great exit there, a lot of understeer. Gregoire Gomez, now he's in clean air, setting the fastest lap of the race. Clearly still got the same pace he had in the F4 machinery. Braskovitz pulls out of the slipstream. That's him going for 9th position. Power on the inside now, under braking for turn 1. Bit of smoke as a few cars are locking up in there, but that's Power up to 7th. Rubens down to 8th, and Braskovitz might finally have his man now in 9th position. Moreland is holding it on the inside, and they're still side by side. And Miguel Moreland is not having any of this from Braskovitz at all, and Tim Ellis is trying to take advantage of that as they rise up the hill.
Oof, Moreland using all that runoff. Tell you what, Moreland is really, really punchy, very aggressive in defence. He doesn't yield a position under any circumstances. So sometimes you say, oh well, let the leader through. It's not my race anyway. Miguel does not have that gear.
Battle for 3rd place looks like it's about to kick off, because James Gill and Luke Power have arrived on the back of Taro Tylers, and Luke Power doesn't fancy waiting for Gill to make a move. He's making one himself on the inside of turn 12. Oh, the blinking again. He's used it to his advantage. He went round the outside under braking. Lovely move there.
We're going to have to investigate this blinking, aren't we?
Yeah. So that's Luke Power up into 3rd position.
I say, as long as he's only taking out family members, it's okay.
James Gill in the slipstream here down the front straight. Might fancy a run back at Power on the inside. No, discretion the better part of Valor there. If they squabble amongst themselves too much, they'll let Taro Tylers get away again, and we're running out of laps pretty soon. We've only got just under 6 laps to go. So, looks like... as it stands, because Sam Harper's got a 4.2 second lead now, he'll come away with the gold and overall win. And Steve Rubens, despite him sort of falling through the pack a little bit from reverse grid pole, still holds on to the silver class
great
lead. So doing a great job there. And the overall championship will come down between Luke Power and James Gill there as well. Actually,
we'll have some. Go on, Chris.
Right, I was just going to say Gomez was a second quicker than Gill and Power on the previous lap, and he's only 1.4 back. So I wouldn't discount Greg Gomez for a podium at this rate.
No, absolutely not. Just a little bit of an update on that chaos that saw Danny Henney secure his place in the top 20. Do you know what it was caused by? I won't name and shame, but it was one of the new drivers just not holding brakes on an incident and sliding across the track. And 5 cars in the end taken out by that incident. Once again, Brad danced and weaved his way through it as if some ethereal, magical racing elf.
Hold your brakes, folks. So meanwhile, both Luke Power and James Gill have found their way through on Taro Tyreless for 2nd and 3rd place, and Greg Gomez is right with them as well now. He's only 8/10 back. So depending on how quickly he can dispatch of Tyreless in front of him, he can still find himself on the overall podium despite starting in 20th place. That would be a pretty juicy start to his title campaign.
Yeah, especially when you consider how difficult overtaking is here and how big these cars are. And also with the Super Formula, there's going to be quite a talent difference, whereas with the F3, everyone's, pretty up to speed. So, similar paced cars, it's tight, very difficult to overtake, and you lose the front end as well with aero wash and stuff. In the Super Formula, it's going to be easier because the talent difference is so big from start to finish, and it's a bit of an error generator. As Gomez now, he has got the car in front in his sights.
Certainly does. Gomez there, 5th place at the moment. Oh, right on the wheel tracks of Taro Tyreless there, practically pushing him through turn 10. And look at that, not even a contest. So he's lost a bit of time. He's 1.5 seconds back from the podium while he was tucked up behind Tyreless on this lap. But we do still have 4 to go. I dare say that'll be enough time for him to try and get himself onto the podium. This is Brad Philpott a little bit further back in the pack in 12th position. This will be a bit more interesting for the stream to be watching, I'm sure, as he got around the outside. That's Steve Rubens. That's Steve Rubens, who was the silver class leader. So he's had some sort of drama in the last couple of laps because it is now Miguel Morland who leads that class, and Steve Rubens has dropped all the way down to where is it now? 14th position.
The thing I'm wondering is that I saw Philpott on turn 2 smash into Smith's car, so I don't understand why he's got no damage. Surely he hasn't pitted, and now he's running 12th. I mean, if anyone was going to do it. Well, I don't know. But I saw him just completely T-bone Smith at the beginning, so he's been very, very fortunate if there's no damage there.
Yeah, we saw Henny with his whole front wing missing, didn't he? Actually, speaking of Danny Henny, he's only a few places behind him. He's there, just got a glimpse of him. So
there has been a lot of carnage in this race, so maybe some of the pit runners were able to come out and fight. It's Danny on Colin Ward. Oh, old sleepy Wardy. The problem with Colin is, as it gets closer to 10 o'clock, that's his maximum sleep time. So right about now, he's got a hot Oppo next to him in his sim rig, and he is starting to feel quite tired.
Oh, I'm sure of it. Henny here, 16th position on the back of Colin Ward in that Rothmans Williams livery. He had a think up the inside there, but thought better of it. Actually, Ward's got a little deep into the corner, and now we'll move on the inside of the penultimate corner. That's Henny up into 15th place, another few points gained there. Of course, with every pass he makes, he's going to make his life a little bit more difficult in the Super Formula race, but obviously the points are worth it.
Yes. Yeah, well, what we've done here is we've decided the points are the same, even for the F4 race for qualifying and for the reverse grid races as well. So we've made it uniform, and I think that's a little bit more of a challenge for the fast guys that find themselves down the pack in the second race. But because it's a mixed ability grid, good. You should have to work hard to beat the looks of Lee and Matt.
I suppose there's an argument to be made as well, because you're moving up in quality of machinery as well. That actually the second and maybe even the third race win is just as valuable as the F4 win. Phil Pot up into 11th position now, ahead of Miguel Morland. He still holds the silver class lead. And
Well, I think
just
that's
looking
Miguel
at
Morland just
that
ahead,
podium
isn't it?
battle as well. Gomez in 4th position, now on the back of James Gill, and they've got traffic in front of them as well. Is that John Cox in the Cherry Blossom car that they're just rounding up there, but keeping well out of the way? Oh, that was,
So Brad's
Taylor.
still behind Miguel Morland at the moment, so that's his next place to get for 11th, and it looks like that overtake might happen any minute now.
Yeah, well, we'll keep an eye on Gomez for now. See, Luke Power's not far in front of them as well. They've got Andrew Sexton between them as well, so a little bit of lap traffic is going to come into play here. We're on the penultimate lap of the race now, and Gomez just 4/10 back from a spot on the podium, having started in 20th place in this reverse grid race. He won the F4, that put him in 20th at the start of this one, and he has fought tooth and nail to get up into this position. Maybe helped somewhat by the carnage that ensued on the first lap. It's Phil Pot on the inside, now getting his way past Miguel Morland and into 10th position.
I was worried there because Miguel is like such a fighter, and he did lock a break into the outside, but I was just thinking to him, come on Miguel, don't fight Brad too hard here. Just let him go, because you've got Colin Ward behind you and Daniel Snodland and Jose Coig as well, not to mention Danny Henney, so he should save his defensive batteries, I think.
Oh, Gomez getting the back end, snaking like crazy, as he often does in the first part of this middle sector. Still in the wheel tracks of James Gill here.
I'm scared of this battle. Greg versus James is just, that's going to be one of the most volatile battles. If you said to me, you know, odds on, you want the biggest odds of a crash between two drivers on the grid, and I'm not being unkind, these are both great drivers, but you would say, okay, put James up against Greg, so we should not leave this battle at all, not for a second.
Well, race leader Sam Harper has started his final lap of the race. These guys do so now, and James Gill is hugging that pit wall on the right-hand side, maybe catching a little bit of that slipstream from the back marker, but Gomez not in a position just yet. If he gets a good run out of turn 1, he might just be able to challenge into turn 2. Oh, it would be a lunge from there, wouldn't it? So those are the best two overtaking opportunities done. He's got to try and pressure James Gill into a mistake or have a monster lunge in one of the final couple of corners.
Oh, maybe Greg will just chill. Maybe he's not that bothered about getting ahead of James. That was
well, looking at the run he had up the hill, I wouldn't say so. So it's going to be a bit follow the leader through here. But look how close he's able to get under braking and in the early stages of the corner. Look at that, jinking to the inside, trying to fill James Gill's mirrors, trying to distract him.
And Neil Singh's getting a podium here. And Neil's getting a podium here because these two aren't making it to the end.
Final lap then. We're coming through the middle sector for the last time. What's the run? This will be the crucial corner, and he's lost ground as Gomez in the last couple of corners. I don't think he's going to be in a position to attack in the final two corners here. And that one little mistake in that middle sector might have just cost Gregoire Gomez a spot on the podium in this reverse grid race. But meanwhile, here is Sam Harper, about to take his first victory of the season, shimmying the car across the line. Sam Harper wins. Brilliant drive from him, and 3.8 seconds clear in the end of Luke Power, who comes across the line in second. James Gill denies Gregoire Gomez a spot on the podium as Taro Tyler brings it home in 5th position. And we've got Sam in the commentary box with us. Sam, what a drive. Fantastic.
Thank you.
So, Sam, you have been on fire with these single-seaters. You're normally more of a tin-top guy, aren't you?
Yeah, well, prototypes, big, heavy, lots of power. These small, light, no power. It's the same thing, right? Easy. Not easy.
You made it look easy, that's for sure. So tell us how it is coming through the pack. I mean, obviously you had a decent grid position, but you still had to fight your way through.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. Everybody was nice and clean and stuff, and then all the lap cars just parked like the sea, and Yeah, it just couldn't have really gone much better. So thanks everybody for being so kind and nice and everything.
So, Super Formula up next. Big ask, and you're going to be starting from 20th. How do you think that's going to go?
Oh, I don't think I'm going to win it. Let's see. I don't know. Forwards rather than backwards would be good. I'll take finishing.
All right. Cheers for Chantress, man. Good luck for the Super Formula race. So who else we got? We got Luke Power as well. We'll have a quick word with Luke. Well, Luke, first of all, quite a bit of carnage on the first lap, but you survived it, and you did manage to come home with a great result in the end.
Yeah, definitely. It was very lucky for me to avoid that first incident down to the fast left. I had to go on the grass to escape it, but I was just picking my way through then. And luckily I found some pace, and yeah, I was able to bring home a P2, which I'm pretty happy about.
Okay, I'll have to let you go in a second, but before I do, just very quickly tell us, do you think you're off the Christmas card list now after what happened with Carl in race 1?
Possibly. I mean, I've had a few internet issues today, so that's very unfortunate, and hopefully I can...
Kyle said he was fine, but I don't believe him, Luke.
No, I don't believe him either. He sounded pretty gutted, which I'm... But yeah, another sorry to Kyle, but yeah.
Cheers, Luke.
All right, well, sorry, it's such a short one, but got to let you go as we run through the results of the second race. So Sam Harper takes the win, the gold class win as well. Luke Power and James Gill join him on the podium. Gregoire Gomez fourth after the race 1 victory. Taro Tyler second in gold. Alexander Dubbelsberger sixth in the end, just ahead of Carl Power, Tim Ellis, and Lucas Raskowitz. Bradley Philpott into the top 10 in the end, and Miguel Moreland taking the silver class win in 12th place overall. Danny Henney into 14th position. That could be crucial for the Super Formula race. He's in a good position there, as is Stephen Williams, who finished in 17th place, and it will be Alex Smith, starting on reverse grid pole in 20th place in that race. That puts him on reverse grid pole for the Super Formula race. And yeah, again, a few others not getting going, unfortunately. So we'll see how they fare in the Super Formula race, which is coming up in a few moments' time. We'll be right back.